guys, and welcome to round 17 of season 3 of SRL. And here we are in Brazil, ready for our qualifying lap. We have done less practice than we normally do. We haven't actually done a single lap around this track yet. So as we take the first corner reasonably nicely, open the second part of the SRL up, now completely flat out around this left-hander, coming into turn 4. Very tricky to get the braking zone. I've been struggling with this all weekend and through the race as well. As we are up on our previous sector time, we take the curb nicely, don't run too wide on this newly curved outside of the corner there. You can run slightly wider than you could do in previous years. We chuck it in to this double right. We run slightly wide, but we just about managed to recover it. You can get away with cutting that corner. They do that in real life as well. Now this hairpin was an absolute nightmare, both on traction and mid-corner mechanical grip. Now into first gear, flick it down, take it into the apex nicely. As we now have to be very careful through this. I do a slight lift because you can't quite take that flat out. A bit too much wheel spin. So we now come through effectively the last corner, coming up through Youngsao. We are actually purple, which is surprising. Our teammate Callum has been practicing a lot for this race and is incredibly quick. So I assume he'll actually beat us, but we don't quite get it. We are incredibly close to him, but we don't actually quite get pole there. So you can see he did. It's yet another Red Bull 1-2 front row lockout. Hopefully we can convert that into yet another 1-2 in the race, as we now pop it down into lean mix to maximise the traction off the line. We've got 3, 4, 5 lights, and they're out very quickly, and away we go. We get a fairly poor start in reality. We go to the inside to cover off Jamie, and we're going to have to stick it there and park it on the apex so no one gets an undercut. Callum runs slightly wide. This is going to give us a good run. We put it into lean for traction, and now we're in the slipstream. This is a very good opportunity. We're running 2-1 wings, I think, so we should be quick in a straight line. And we are. He's not going to defend the inside, but I've got no idea how late to brake, so I brake too early there. And there goes Callum, and we've lost momentum as well to Goldfish behind. And is he going to go clean around the outside? We're going to stick it up the inside. We're still alongside here as we're now up the inside, and we understeer slightly wide, and it didn't look like we actually touched there. A bit of a sort of lag bubble, unfortunate contact, but we both get away with it. So we're going to continue onto this fairly hectic first lap so far. And Goldfish has a think about going down the inside. We have to give him a little bit of room, don't chop his nose off. As all this means that Callum's actually got away, and he's got incredible pace and very good tyre wear. So I think he might start disappearing off into the distance. We get a fairly poor run out of the last corner, and that's actually not technically the last corner, but we'll call it that. So we stick to the inside to try and get Goldfish out of the slipstream. He's sticking there, doesn't seem to have the straight line speed. Jamie's coming up very quickly, lagging as well, as seems to be the status quo on this game. As Goldfish tries to go around the outside, we just run him out of road, so that he's got no luck there. So we're probably going to have to defend down into turn 4 as well. We stick to the inside. There's barrier and advertising board all over the track. It looks like Jamie's gone up the inside. Goldfish going down the outside, 3 wide into turn 4. We have no choice but to run Goldfish out of road. So we're now side by side with Jamie coming into this double right-hander. Last lap this happened, it went very badly, but Jamie backs out of it very sensibly there. And it looks like Goldfish has taken advantage of that and taken Jamie as well. It's been an incredibly hectic first lap. As we now cut onto lap 3, I've got no idea of the strategy, and I'm planning a 2-stop here, and apparently it turns out that a 1-stop is much faster, so I made a bit of a tactical error there as we defend from Jamie, who brakes much later around the outside, but we hold it in there. He braked a bit late, but he is going to get a nice run down this second straight, if you like. He will have DRS because we're past lap 3. I'm just sort of avoiding all of the barrier there rather than actually defending. As we run wide, this is not going to do us any good. We move to the inside, and now we're going to run Jamie out of road, but he's taken us completely off the track there, so I assume he's going to give us that position back. And we got like interlock wheels or something there, and we just flew wide, and then we rejoined the track dangerously. That was our fault and got collected by Goldfish as Sedgwick takes up the inside. So we've lost 4 positions rather. Jamie's illegally, and then with that awkward contact going into the double right, we lost 3 further ones. So this has not been a good start to the race. We're continuing our fairly poor run of form. although in the last few races has mainly been us being taken out, in fairness, as there has been contact up ahead, which seems to sort of be happening quite a lot at the last bit of this season, is that Jared and Goldfish have both made contact. We're now going 3 wide. Are we going to be able to do a nice double overtake here? It looks like we are going to. We've got the inside line, we've taken 2 cars. Jared tries to hold it around the outside, doesn't manage it. And he is still just about there, but we take the position, so we've taken 2 positions there, a nice double overtake, as Sedgwick has also taken both of them as well. As we're now defending from Jared, we break a little bit early, going to run him out of room, but he's still there, he sticks in it. Very nice driving there from Jared, he's just got way more mechanical grip there. I could do nothing about that. So we now have a look up the inside, and he actually gives us room, so that's nice. We're now going to have to cover off Boseman behind, who's got excellent traction. As you can see there, we're squirming through that corner, which isn't quite flat out still. As we get a reasonable run, we're going to be in the slipstream. We need to try and get Jared back as quickly as possible, because I'm not sure about our race pace, in all honesty, despite as ever running a race setup. Tyre saving, we've got DRS open. Is Jared going to defend? No, he's not. We got clean up the inside with a lot of overspeed. We brake nicely, and we're going to just park it on the apex so there aren't any undercuts there. As we come through the second part of the centre S, get a reasonable run, flick it up into rich mix. We get a much better run off that than Jared. We're going to move over to break the slipstream. He follows us. I don't think he's going to be close enough to make a move this time around. He is slightly later on the brakes. We run a little bit wide, but I think we're going to get away with that, unless he tries to go around the outside of this double right, which I don't think is going to happen. If Boseman's arrived on the scene, I don't think he'll be able to do anything about that, though, as we're now losing time to Sedgwick up ahead, actually, and we've just been defending from Jared, who again has a look into turn 1. We have to go slightly defensive, which slightly compromises our line, but we should, with our better straight line speed by the looks of things, be able to defend this. So we move over to the inside to make it very clear that we're defending this, but he brakes very late around the outside, but we're going to just run him out of room. So Jared seems to be braking very late around that corner, which is something to note for the future. And we've got Boseman trying to go around the outside, which no one's made work so far, and that's Stiggy, I think, being lapped already on lap 10, and he flies off the track in sympathy. And we've now got Jared behind again. We are closing in on Sedgwick ahead. Still not nowhere near DRS, unfortunately, though, so we are still vulnerable from behind, as it looks like Jared's got a lot of overspeed. We are going to defend again, and we're going to hold the inside line, run it slightly wide so he doesn't try and go around the outside, take it through the second centre S. We get a little bit of oversteer. Tyre wear is creeping in at this point, as we get a reasonable run off the corner, but Jared's closer than he's ever been before. We move over to defend. Is he going to try go around the outside? He brakes very late, and he takes us clean around the outside. Can we fight back on the exit? We don't have the traction, and that is an absolutely fantastic overtake there from Jared. That is really top quality. Fully respect him for that. That was nothing I could have done about that. As we now tuck it into his sort of dirty air now, so this is going to compromise us with tyre wear as well, as we've now got an angry Boseman behind us as well. So as we run slightly wide, we are losing quite a lot of grip now, as we just squirm again through this meant to be flat out right, as we now take flat out left rather, as we now come onto the backstretch. We've lost a lot of time to Jared, which shows how much we were holding him up. Are we going to pit this lap? Let's see. I think we'll do what Jared does, and he doesn't pit, so we don't, as we are in DRS and Boseman is behind. We do move over to the inside a little bit, but we run a little bit wide. Is that going to compromise us? We should be alright, because we'll get DRS from Jared up ahead, but I'm sure we'll have to defend, because Boseman is very close. I've got no idea how good his straight line speed is. It was fairly reasonable when I battled him in Italy, so I wonder whether he's running low downforce again. But he isn't quite as late on the brakes as Jared, but he does go for a nice switchback. That's going to lead him to the outside for the double right. It'll be a risky move if he can make it stick. We're quite a long way alongside him, so I don't think he will. He doesn't. I think he backs out of that very sensibly, as we now come into the pits on lap 12. With hindsight, I know it's apparently a very easy one-stop, but I had no idea of that at the time. So we're now putting on a set of option tyres. It'll be obviously option prime to the end. Are we going to get out ahead of Jared? No, it looks like we've actually lost a little bit of time to him, but that's not a problem. We come out of the pits Let's see where it's going to put us. You're allowed to cut that bit, as it's completely flat out, unlike the actual 2014 pit lane, as we come out just behind Goldfish. So I don't know whether he pitted early or has had problems down the line or whatever, but as we're now coming up behind him quite quickly now on our fresher tyres, we're very close. We're going to have a look down the inside. We do. He shuts the door on us completely fairly there. So nicely done from him, as we are now going to come into the slipstream, and in his DRS we've got a nice bit of overspeed again. We've got good straight line speed with our 2-1 wings, which I think is what hurting us in sector 2, where the other guys seem to be much faster. I think that's also a bit more of the pad sector of the track, to be fair. They seem to have a much better mechanical grip, as we're now coming up behind, I think that's Gavin, and I think that's him letting us through. I wasn't really sure, so I'm giving him a lot of space here, because in Japan we had a fairly bad experience, but he's been very good to us ever since that. So as we're now defending from Goldfish, we really wanted to be on the back of Sejimit. I think he's pitted, and I can tell you in hindsight that he is on a one-stop as we run Goldfish out of road there. So we really need to get past him fairly quickly, as we've just come onto the back of him. Let's see how quickly we can overtake him. We have a look up the inside into the last corner, and he gives us room, and we are side by side. We're going to be just behind for the DRS line. We are, so we're going to get DRS, and we're going to hold it up the inside, so we have to have the inside line. He has to give us the inside line. We do nicely. We open DRS, and this is surely move done now, and it looks like it has been. We're going to move over, we're not going to move over onto the racing line just in case he outbrakes himself, as he doesn't, as we're now going to come onto the second straight. He's now going to have the DRS, but we should have enough straight line speed in our tank. Let's see. We're probably going to have to defend. We do. We move over to the middle of the track. He brakes a bit later. The Williams seems very good into that braking zone, as we're now closing in on Bohr ahead, who started on the prime tyres, also doing a one-stop, so he's going to be on fairly worn rubber at this point, and the slower rubber, so we should be able to dispatch him fairly quickly, but he'll be very quick at the end of the race, so we've got to keep an eye on that. As you can see, his wheels spinning out of all these hairpins, and we're just sticking behind him. Let's try and get the DRS into the next corner. He runs very wide, but that's going to give us a nice run up the inside, and it does indeed. We take the position, and we don't actually get DRS, which is, oh we do, sorry, DRS line's further on than I thought it was, as we now come into the pit on lap 24 for a set of prime tyres. I found out our teammate way out in front's also doing a two-stop, and he's now, there we go, he's now battling with Jamie 995, who is on a one-stop. But our teammate is on options, so he should still have this in the bag, but it's yeah, it's contrasting fortunes for the two Red Bull drivers, as we now come out the pits in 8th position, it looks like. So we've still got a fair amount of work to do, because I'm not sure many people up ahead are going to be pitting. It looks like one of them has, as we've got Bohr all over the back of us, having pitted, and having those option tyres now. Fresh option tyres means he's much faster than us at this point of the race. You can see there our teammate on his fresh options is setting the track alight with his pace, as we're now closing onto the back of Rockhammer. I'm not sure we're going to be close enough for the DRS, but Bohr behind is certainly going to be close enough to us with DRS. We don't defend. We're going to try and get Bohr to carry us through the field, bit like Verstappen did with Raikkonen in this year's Monaco race. Let's hope it doesn't end quite as nastily for us as his race did, as it has worked. We're now being pulled onto the back of Rockhammer by Bohr's pace and sticking in slipstream. We're now in lean, because I'm not sure we're going to both make it past in this braking zone, but it looks like we might do, and we brake much later. We actually lock up on this game, which is quite an impressive feat in itself, as we both take Shane there. He didn't really defend that. I'm sure he knows that we're basically on a different pace to him, because I think he's struggling with tyre wear. As Bohr moves over and we get squeezed onto the grass there. We did a cheeky dummy there, and I don't think he was expecting it. He tried to recover it, but we were already too far alongside. We run wide there in the excitement of the moment. Bohr's trying to go around the outside of us. We hold it up the inside, so that's a pretty exciting few corners there, as we're defending from Bohr again. We've now got to try and keep him behind for the rest of the race. Hopefully with a few laps to go his tyres will start going off and he'll be less of a problem, but right now he's a lot faster than us, so we really need to defend this position as we move all the way over to the inside, put it into lean for traction around this corner. We're just going to nicely run him out of road there, so he cannot go around the outside of us. We're going to defend again into this double right-hander, as we did hold him off and we now come across the line in 6th position. Fairly disappointing way to end the season, as I'm not able to attend Abu Dhabi. So Callum does end up winning with Jamie second, and here is a slow motion replay of the overtake. We do a dummy and slide it up the inside of Bohr, who moves over a little bit but can't actually hold us off in the end. So thank you very much for watching this video and all of my highlights throughout the season. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.